Hi, today I'm going to talk about Asian mineral sunscreens, that is Korean and Japanese mineral sunscreens that are suitable for oily, acne-prone skins and that, are suitable for medium, tan, olive, warm, sort of South Asian, middle end of the spectrum skin tones. The problem with a lot of these sunscreens is that the physical ones tend to leave a whitish cast no matter what. So these are the ones that leave the least cast that I've found. So I've left out a number of physical sunscreen brands. I've also left out a number of regular, famous, cult sunscreen brands because they are not physical. I've also left out a number of them because they've got, ingredients that break me out, that because they're not suitable for oily, acne-prone skins. I do realize this is subjective, but as far as possible, I've tested out quite a few sunscreens in my time. I used to avoid sunscreen because, I went through a number of them and none of them seemed to suit me. Here are a few that have actually suited me. So let's start with my favorite. This is the Etude House Sunrise Mild Airy Finish. This is SPF 50 and PA+++. So this is a milk formulation. So the filters are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. I'll swatch all of these. Now the problem with this one is that it has a couple of oils in the ingredients. Sunflower oil, lemon oil, orange oil, etc. So one thing that I like the most about this is that it will not sting. Even if you get it in your eyes. Been there, done that. So milky formula there. And spreads out nicely. Unfortunately, it does have a fragrance, but I think it is all those oils, the lemon oil and the orange peel oil. So let's blend that out. And that's the result. Airy Finish is the right name for this one because it does feel nice matte and soft and velvety dry. It does dry matte on my skin, not matte as such, but it doesn't dry greasy at all on my skin, which is very, very important to me. Beneath makeup, it performs fairly well. I tend to wear makeup pretty much every day, so I can't tell you how it does on its own. It doesn't pill, or maybe that's just the makeup products that I use. It doesn't pill on me. There are no problems. I haven't broken out from it. I love it. I will be repurchasing it once I'm done with it. And the finish is very soft. If you are, oily skinned, you love this one. If you are dry skinned, I wouldn't recommend this. Etude House Sunprice has a number of other sunscreens in same range, sun price range. Watery finish, etc. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I do know that one is watery finish. I think that is better for dry skin than this one. This is airy finish, dry. Don't buy this if you're dry skinned. If you're oily skinned, don't buy the other one. So they have other sunscreens for dry skin, normal skin, and so on. And they even have one that is good for pollution. Not good for pollution, good for protecting from pollutants. So do check those out. I will link everything in the description box below. So if you're oily skinned, this is the one to go for. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, whitish cast, how do I rate this? I'm calling it 1 to 1.5. 1, actually. 1 is enough. But 1.5, nothing is truly residue free. So this is 1 on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being maximum whitish cast and 1 being very, very minimal or nothing to be seen. So the next one is the Innisfree No Sebum Daily UV Protection Cream. This is SPF 35 only and PA+++. So if you're looking for SPF 50, this one is not for you. It contains, again, sunflower oil. It also contains Centella rachitica, which is this grass with healing powers. Apparently, injured tigers used to roll about in the Centella rachitica grass, and they're to help heal their injuries faster. So again, the filters are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. One problem that I have with this sunscreen is that while it isn't greasy as such, it's more glowy than the previous one, than the Etude House. So it's on the glowy side. So I'll just show you how this one performs on my skin. Oopsie, I just dropped it. Hang on, be right back. Right, so this one is not, as runny as the Etude House Sunrise Airy Finish. This one is thicker and it feels grittier to the touch. I have had pilling with certain foundations, but not certain others. and that's the result. So blend it out. So whitish cast, I would rate this at 2 to 2.5 on my skin tone. So as I told you, I'm South Asian and NC37 for reference. So on me, this is 2 to 2.5 whitish cast wise. That means, 5 being terrible whitish cast. This is 2. All right, I can pull it off. But, unless I rub it thoroughly, which probably, sabotages the purpose of it. It probably compromises the sun protection extent when you rub it like that. So unless I do that, there is some whitish cast. If I do that, there is no whitish cast, but that probably compromises on your sun protection. The third one has even more whitish cast than the Innisfree. This is the Dr. Belmeur. This is actually from the Face Shop. This is the Dr. Belmeur Mineral Filter Sun Cream. Again, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And this is SPF 50 PA+++, just like the Etude House. It has no alcohol or parabens. It does have oils. It contains cannabis sativa seed oil. And this is the packaging, rather different from the others. And nice, silicone tube there. This is not a plastic or glass. It's actually silicone. So all that is very well. But the problem with this one is that, I didn't know this until it turned up. It contains calamine, which means that although the texture is very similar to the Etude House, it's quite runny there, it will always have a pinky tint. Now on somebody who's pale skinned, this is not going to be a problem, but on me, it will be a problem. Unless I wear makeup on top. There is a very, very mild floral fragrance to it. I don't know why, because I can't spot any floral ingredients on the list. And it also contains moringa seed oil. So whitish cast rating, this one is 2. You don't have to rub it in so much to get rid of the whitish cast, but you do have to blend it out thoroughly, otherwise the calamine is going to pose a problem. The other problem is that it does have flashback when you take photographs with flash. That is probably because of the calamine. The fourth one is my joint favorite along with the first one. This is the Althea Korea Petal Velvet Sunway. I've talked about this here. You can also see that in the description box below. What I like the most is that this is SPF 50 with PA++++. Very, very high sun protection there. What I love the second most is that this promises sebum control. Exactly what my oily skin needs to hear. This is very, very matte. It dries very matte. It has a powdery finish when it dries. Zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, although I suspect that the titanium dioxide is more of a pigment than sun filter, but it does contain zinc oxide. So oils, yes, it contains certain flower oils, bergamot seed oil, geranium oil, and so on, but it promises sebum control, which is great. Shake well before use. That happens with most physical sunscreens. Let's move to this hand. So I have some makeup, and let's see. So let's move to this hand. So this is $10. They're all, $9, $10, $12 tops, depending on where you buy. And this has a bad habit of separating unless you shake very, very thoroughly before using. So thicker than the Etude House and the Dr. Belmeur, but thinner than the Innisfree. Very watery when you do that. Melts actually. Unfortunately, has more of a whitish cast than the Etude House, but not as much as the Innisfree. So I would put this somewhere at around 1.75 to 2 whitish cast wise, with Etude House being 1 to 1.5 and Innisfree being 2.5. So this is about 1.75 to 2 in terms of whitish cast. And I'll let that dry out. Could be the glare from the sun. Now, still, there's a bit of whitish cast there. Now, the reason I like this so much is that it controls sebum. It does do that. It makes my oily skin matte and it keeps me matte for longer than the other sunscreens on this list. So I've actually ordered 2 more. They are on the way. We'll post all of that on Instagram. So, I'm not just making this up. Now, the next 2 are Japanese. So far, they've all been Korean. The next two are Japanese. Yes, fully physical Japanese sunscreens do exist. This one is the Innisfree Sensitive UV Gel. They have a cream version of this as well. This is the gel version. Now, this is SP49 and PA+++. Now, this has zinc oxide and titanium dioxide as well. It is 100% oil-free. Now, before you start rejoicing, hang on. It contains squalane, so if you're somebody who's sensitive to squalane, if squalane breaks you out, sorry. It also contains isostearic acid, so I don't know how well steroids do with fungal acne. I haven't had a problem with this one. I quite like it. The problem, though, is that there is a whitish cast indeed. Not as much as the Innisfree, but more than pretty much everything else that I've mentioned so far. It's thick as the Innisfree. It's definitely not a gel. I don't know what they mean by gel. So that is definitely a whitish cast. And I would rate this as 2.5 to 3, with 5 being dreadful whitish cast. And mind you, this is on my skin tone. Somebody paler would be able to pull all of these off without any problems. Lastly, I have, this name is a mouthful, listen to this. Ishizawa Shigaisen Yuhu Non-Chemical UV Gel. Sorry, I'm butchering the pronunciation. If you know the right pronunciation, please tell me. This also, like the previous one, comes in a cream formula. This is the gel formula. So while it is oil-free, it has stearic acid. It is also fragrance-free. It has very, very minimal whitish cast. I call it, again, 1 to 1.5, like the Etude has 1, rather. So what is my problem with this? I'll tell you, it's only SPF 30. I prefer SPF 50, for sunny days, for days that I am out in the sun. If it's, after 5 p.m. or something, or 4 p.m., I don't mind this SPF 30 with PA+++, but, on regular days, I want SPF 50. So that is my problem with this. It's perfect in every way. It doesn't have a whitish cast, doesn't pill it. It's all right beneath makeup. While it doesn't control sebum as such, it doesn't make me greasy or oily. The formula is nice. It's kind of like a primer than anything else. Hang on, I'll show you. This one has more of a gel formula than all of the others. Let's do that here. See, that's more of a gel than a liquid. And it blends out watery. Typical of, all those Korean and Japanese lotions and toners. And that's what it looks like. No whitish cast whatsoever. I would rate this 1 to 1.51, rather, in terms of whitish cast. This is ideal for sensitive skin. I love everything about this except the fact that it's just SPF 30. If this had been SPF 50, we would have had perfection on our hands, because nothing in here is breakout, is a red alert for breaking out for acne. And there are no oils. It does contain stearic acid, so I don't know if stearic acid is a trigger for fungal acne. I remember reading somewhere that it was, but I don't get fungal acne. At least my dermatologist says that this isn't fungal acne. So, and it hasn't broken me out actively, so I'm happy with this. The only problem, SPF 30. So those are 6 Japanese and Korean mineral, physical only, no chemical filters here, sunscreens that are suitable for oily, acne-prone skins, for tan, warm, olive skin tones, with as minimal as possible of a whitish cast, not huge whitish cast. As and when I discover more sunscreens that do this, I will be adding them to the description box below. So which is your favorite SPF? I would love to know. Do you prefer physical or mineral sunscreens? Why? Does your sunscreen leave a whitish cast? Are you bothered about this? Do tell me all of that in the comments below. I would love to know, because I'm actively, always trying to discover new sunscreens. I've tried about a bazillion in my time, but, I'd love to try more. Maybe you know something I don't, or you've tried something I haven't. I'd love to know. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up, and please do hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell, and I'll speak to you soon.